Hello. Oh, what am I doing today? So, there's a game called Wildermyth that I really really like, and I've been meaning to get into replaying it. Hello, Anthony Quenstrom, welcome, and hello, Monty from earlier. So I love Wildermyth. I played it a while ago. Um, and it's been long enough, and I think they've made enough updates that I want to give it another go and see what all has changed. There was like a cosmetic DLC that came out that I bought, and I haven't even played the game since buying that. Um, so I'm gonna do some of that. It's also a very like autumn feeling game to me. Um, which I think is mostly just like all of the backgrounds and stuff are in these very like autumnal foresty looking scenes. Let's see if I can get this on screen. Why are you not showing up? Good question. Just a moment while I try and figure out why this is shoving itself off into the corner. I know, I had it working. I swear I do test these things I try to before I try to stream them, and I had it showing up, and now it's just not. I guess I could use display capture to try to get it, which would be, oh, wait, here we go. What the hell? Very strange. I didn't change anything. It just decided to start working. Incredible. Okay, so what is this game? It is kind of I guess I would describe it as like a tactics RPG with a lot of narrative elements in between, a lot of procedural narrative stuff happening. And it's very smart the way that it does it, in that you can play through multiple campaigns, and sometimes the things that you do in one campaign will show up in later ones. One of the primary ways that happens is that if you have a character kind of like become a big hero in one campaign, they can show up in other games as like, you know, you meet a wandering hero and it's, you know, that person that I played through that other game with, which is really very smart. Let me turn down the music a little bit. So I had played for a few dozen hours on this and built up like a whole roster of characters, and I ended up wiping that because like I wanted to start fresh for the stream, and I also I had a bunch of people in there that I didn't remember anything about them, and so it was kind of like these moments where you're supposed to be, you know, re-meeting one of your favorite blorbos that you had created were kind of less impactful, because instead of some character I cared about, it ended up being like, I don't know who this fighter is that I made. So we're going to start a new game, and we're going to start with, these are all the different campaigns that they have. We're going to start with Age of Ulstryx, which is kind of the tutorial. It's very straightforward, and we're going to keep it on the standard difficulty. You can actually, one of the cool things is that you can customize the combat difficulty and the like map level difficulty separately. So if you are bad at combat but good at like the high level strategy, you can do that. I'm just going to leave it on normal. And yeah, Carved in Stone is fun. So these are going to be our 3 starting characters, and they have different personalities and traits and stuff. And because this is the tutorial campaign, we get one of each of the classes. So there is a warrior, a hunter, and a mystic, and those are the 3 classes that we have. Can randomize these. The art style is a little basic, which is my one kind of gripe with the game. It looks a little webcomic-y, and you'll see it'll get even more webcomic-y here in a second. Let's get some people. Sure. So we have Marla, Whaley, and Talilia. And Amaria. They have different personality traits that'll come up in different ways. Because a lot of this game is about the connections that people have and the stories that they develop as they kind of grow into heroes from common folk. This is the main like way that the game presents stories in this kind of webcomic-y banner format. This book. There's room in it for another story. It's cold. I'm stuck here. Why not scribble in a book anyway? No one's going to read it. That'll make this the beginning. Here in my yondering country, something in the woods is very strange. I'm actually going to... Let me know how the audio is. I'm actually going to turn the music down a little bit because it's a little loud on my end. Concerned only with the prospect of ordinary strangers, a young woman named Marla takes a seasonal road to the town of Shirersham. The road's nice in winter. The town maybe less so. Hopefully I don't see anyone who remembers me. Well, but who would remember me? I don't remember them. Breezes light that day, birds are timid. In fact, the whole world is taking a breath, ready to leap in the sea. I'm there already, huh? Here's the hard part, getting Whaley out of bed. Hopefully it's just her in there. And hopefully she's wearing clothes this time. Or else audio seems fine, thank you. I never know, and so I always appreciate having feedback. That's smoke? Fluttering flames roost among the far-off rooftops. Marla hurries towards town, thinking of Whaley, a young woman whom she's known since girlhood. So this is our first choice, which I really love this kind of thing, where we basically are choosing the initial relationship type between these two characters. So we can set them up as rivals, where they have kind of a friendly dislike of each other. They can just be normal friends, or we can start a romance between them. It's interesting to do these in different ways because it'll have long-term implications for how the game progresses. Characters can get married and have children, and eventually those children can come in as playable characters that carry on this legacy that you have. The game is very concerned with characters will grow old and eventually retire, and so you bring in new people to replace them, and you're kind of constantly going through this cycle of legacy and growing old. I am going to make them in a romance because that is just the kind of thing I like to see is a little bit of romance. So I don't know why I mean there's no way she Whaley, where are you? Don't be dead. This is our main tactical view. So it is a grid-based tactical system. We have these little kind of cut-out looking characters. And our goal here is just to put out these fires. So we can move. Again, the presentation is very basic. I think it's, it makes it sometimes a hard sell when I'm trying to convince people, no, actually this game rules. But I think it's fine, and there are reasons why it is actually useful. I can see why they made the art this basic, because the way these characters are constructed is actually like, skeletal animation, where they are made out of components that that can get, swapped out as they get equipment and stuff. Let's go in here. Her home's standing. It's all right. Breathe, Marla. Whaley, shout something. Marla doesn't know. Yeah, somebody made this out of paper. Somebody cut this out of cardstock and assembled this with little tabs and glue and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. That is the vibe. Why is no one? The door unlocks. Whaley shoves it open. Oh yeah, fire? I know, sorry. Get inside, quickly. Your bow? Yeah, there's things in the street. You didn't see any? Like monsters, I don't know. I've got one trapped behind... Garoo! Behind the house. Staying in here isn't really an option. Right, so here, I've got some tools around. You've always been, strong. So I'm thinking together we can at least drive it off. Together. Mm-hmm. So what kind of weapon are we going to give her? I like the spear type weapons. Basically, this is giving us a spear with some reach. The pickaxe, I think, is the basic sword type or axe type, and then frying pan is a blunt type. And these are all, I think, the lowest tier of their respective weapon class. But I'm going to go for the pitchfork. You know, in case we... Don't worry, Marla. I'll be right here. Open the door when you're ready. This is our foe. A lot of this is very board gamey, so it presents the foes that are coming as cards. This is a roe. Our foe is a roe. Hooves thrown sloppily around beneath it. It runs staggering, bellowing its agony. So I'm going to get Marla positioned up by the door. And I'm actually going to put you back here and then wait so that we can... this is just if you have characters adjacent to each other, they get a defense bonus. I'll bring her out here. Okay, so there's our enemy, is the roe. I'm just going to have you wait here. Yeah. And then you can come up here and get a shot. So we have 86% chance to hit. This is kind of XCOM-y. It shows a, we're going to do 3 damage and 15% stunt. Stunt is basically critical. So that is our critical chance. It's spreading corruption on the ground, which I guess I'm playing a lot of games with corruption themes. That is basically just if we move through it, it does damage to us. We'll let Marla get the kill. Get some experience. So now she is a greenhorn warrior, so a level 1 warrior. And every time we level up, we get to pick one of 3 perks. Sometimes these are active abilities and sometimes they're just passives. So our options are untouchable. When Marla gets a kill, the next one against her within 1 turn will miss, or the next attack against her within 1 turn will miss. Melee attacks only cost Marla 1 action. This means that she can attack twice instead of moving and attacking. And Wolf Call. So after a successful kill, Marla's allies gain +2 speed for this and the following turn. So after she kills something, everybody else gets faster. I'm going to go for Battle Dance just so that she can do some more damage. And Whaley is our hunter. The hunter is both the ranged type and the thief type, depending on how you build them. So they can specialize either in range or in like sneaky melee. We have Fox Flight. Whaley has a +1 speed. Once per combat as a swift action, activate to dodge the next 2 attacks against her. Through shot. She fires a cleverly placed arrow that will pass through the first target hit and hit the next target in a line, dealing -1 damage to the second target. So if we can line enemies up, she can shoot through 2 of them. And Thornfang, once per turn, Whaley is refunded an action point after a melee kill. I don't think I'm going to spec her for melee because we have our warrior, and I'd rather have Whaley spec'd for ranged. I'm not like super great. I don't like any of these super much, but I think I'm gonna take Through Shot just because, like, if you can pull it off, it's very cool. The way equipment works in this game is also kind of strange. So you don't have an inventory, and once you give equipment to a character, you can never remove it from them. You can only replace it. and you can't trade equipment between characters. And that is something that feels odd coming from any other game like this. I think it's actually an intentional choice to basically cut down on the amount of like inventory juggling and optimization that you would need to do. So this gives +5 dodge. I'm going to give this to Marla, because Marla is more likely to be in the front line. You're about to get very popular. You're a hero. The creature's death is quiet. It seems to slip from life in a few stunned, hazy blinks. Yeah, I think that's the goal, is like they didn't want the game to be about kind of doing that that optimization as, you know, every time that you pick up new equipment. So it just kind of removes that aspect from the game while still allowing you to have equipment. They'll spend a piece of the day getting the flames under control. The damage isn't as bad as it could have been. Townsfolk emerge from hiding to fight fires and clear debris. Some full of curiosity, others visibly haunted by what they've seen. Ameria could be in trouble. Clearly nowhere's safe. Come on, let's keep our word. Ameria? She's at that ruined tower by now. It's a long way. Can we leave the town a mess? Others will take care of it, but Ameria will be waiting for us. What happened today could be happening everywhere, couldn't it? Something about that tower is just stuck in my mind. It's like when you get an apple skin in your teeth. I can feel that analogy. It's unpleasant. Huh? Yeah. Anyway, I just think we said we'd meet her. We should. The tower in the hills. You've been there? Yeah, once. Looking at the tracks, they come and they go that direction. Marla and Whaley follow the pounded path of monstrous feet, hoping for the best and dreading every other possibility. So now we get to choose how Whaley feels about Ameria. I think if we hadn't put these two on a romantic path, we could also have Whaley have romantic feelings for Ameria. They are not letting us do a kind of love triangle situation here. There are some situations I've been in where like you explicitly can create this kind of love triangle among your characters, and there's drama that plays out. But I think for this one, they just wanted you to have some kind of less dramatic relationship. So we can choose rivalry or friendship. Let's go rivals. Why not? Just be breathing, okay? So we can all yell and go home. A wordless while passes between them, but the quiet only heightens their worry. I know you don't exactly get along with Ameria these days. So this is because we have picked them as rivals, the narrative is reflecting that. Maybe not, no. You know what it is? It's like today. While we clean up what I'm going to assume was her mess, I bet that glum weirdo's up there now, without a care in the world. This is our overworld. So it's broken up into little regions like this. We need to find Ameria at the old tower, which is over here. And we can send our group to go scout this location, which will take time. Time is always passing on the world map as you are moving or doing anything. And much like in an XCOM, like you will have events that will happen that might be pressing you for time. The previous night, the tower where Ameria had arranged to meet Marla and Whaley is a place she often used to escape to as a girl. Excuse me. She knows its rooms and floors so well. She could survive being chased through them. And now I wait, I suppose. Cough, cough. Dust gets deep as rain puddles in here. Cough. Sorry, I'm not gonna... I can't cough without it sounding gross. Alive is alive until that beast breaks through. You're not so bad, are you, beast? Guff, snifflurk. At least you're not loud. The tower has outlived generations. Weathered and sagging, it defends nothing now, not even from rain. But as the old will tell you, precious things go overlooked in a ruin. What lodges amid the bones of failure is often the dream that drove it. That book, why have I never... Grf. Easy there. I guess you're wondering why I'm talking to myself, huh, beast? I'm also wondering. Ameria bends to pull it loose. The book's heavier than its slender spine suggests. Look, they said the thing. It's the name of the... you can't see, I'm pointing at the screen right now. Look at all this. It's full of strange stories. The folklore of folk long forgotten. The candlelight leaping. Strikes no significant bell. It's the weird story of a child watching candlelight against the ceiling and wishing herself through it to a far realm without grown-ups. Wonderful use of the covetous warrior emote. Thank you. The Tears of Oakman is a weird, rootless tragedy of a man made of oak who stands on a sea cliff and is eaten by termites as he waits for his driftwood love to wash ashore. The flotsam beauty floats forever past the edge of the incoming tide. The Shirasham Boy tells of a blight-skinned man who drew things so feelingly that they began to come true, and he drew circles and circles in a book and eventually fell through. Ameria reaches the last word of the final tall tale. A few blank pages are left. This book. Something in her feels like it's coming loose, but she can't tell exactly what. There's room in it for another story. It's cold. I'm stuck here. That'll make this the beginning. Here in my yondering country, Ameria writes, words are ready. Omens have formed in the fabric of everything, and she's beginning to recognize them now. Some are just misgivings. They've crept through her body like the sourceless aches one wakes with. Others are more substantial. Now they seem lightning plain, a promise of thunder. For in the wild black woods where birds once belled, a hateful silence churns. Pain lights Ameria's head, subsides. I made it to morning? She lowers her bleary eyes. Her story lies before her in luminous script. Empty pages have sprouted behind it. Why do I feel powerful? We get to pick Ameria's weapon here. So we can give her a spoon or a staff. This is basically, the spoon is our wand type. And the staff is a staff. I'm gonna go with the staff. She slides a branch from the rubble. It's sturdy. It has a palm-loving twist. Well, beast, it's time. I'm getting out of here. We have a rager. It charges without seeing, misshapen tusks swinging wildly. So let's bring her out here so we can see our enemy. The way that magic works in this game is incredible, and it's one of my favorite things about about the combat systems in the game. So we don't have anything like we'll never get like a fireball or like any kind of direct damage spell like that. What we can do is interfuse with objects in the stage, and those will give us access to different things we can do. So if we look at this chest, it shows us, it gives us this Splinter Blast ability, where we can blow up the chest into a shredding blast of splinters that savages an area. So now that we have connected with this object, we can blow it up. Yeah, they're tag based. So like different object types will have different ones, and you unlock more. Instead of getting new spells, you basically get access to new tags that give you more spells. So like one of the options is like things that are like man-made objects you get new spells with. Some of them affect like cloth or wood or trees, and that is how you specialize your magic character. So like this bookshelf has all these skeletons on it, so it gives me a bone lance. They've set this up so that you are basically protected from this creature while you are trying all of this out. So Mary is our mystic. These are our options. So Elementalist gives us advanced interfusions for fire, wood, and liquid. If we are interfused with fire, the fire will not burn out, which normally a flame on the ground will burn out over time. If we interfuse with wood, we get an upgraded version of that Splinter Blast that we used with the chest, and if we interfuse with liquid, we get this Infernal Rain. I do wish it showed you what these were, but I think Infernal Rain is basically an AoE that like strips armor. Arches, Ameria bonds with the earth and summons from Seedling and Silt a wondrous tree that pins surrounding enemies. This lets us create a tree on the map. And one of the like build types that you can kind of do is focus on trees. So like there are later abilities that let you teleport between trees, like kind of the kind of ability that like dryads have in Dungeons and Dragons. So we could be a tree-focused mystic. And Vigor Flow. For each interfused object, Amaria's melee and ranged attacks gain +2 damage. Interfused objects take 1 damage whenever a melee ranged attack is used. This basically makes us a stronger warrior. You can actually kind of spec into melee as a mystic. Where you are interfusing with things that give you bonuses to your basic attacks. I'm going to go for Elementalist. It is, I think, it'll be the most useful. These also unlock other things down the line, like there are higher levels of these. Or I could go Tree. What do I want to do? I'm gonna go Elementalist. And she gets this Crow Feather Belt, which gives us some warding. Warding is there's armor and warding. Warding is for magic damage, and armor is for physical damage, I think is how it works. And these values are basically for every whole digit of this, you take 1 less damage from that damage type. So by going from 0.8 to 1.6, that actually gets us to the next level of damage reduction. More monsters roam the ruined halls and rattle the rotting furniture. Snert. But Ameria moves quietly, sensing her way in the dark. Daylight lands on her wrist. Cool wind soothes her tired eyes. I'm still allowed to live? She closes the tower door, gentle to make no noise. That was the Mystic's art that I did. Right, tower? Where'd I get it from? Could it have just happened? Is it just one of those things? Things a woman's born with that might blossom in her life when she needs them? Suddenly I could listen to the bookcase, talk to the flame. I feel the sweetness in that onion plant. Ameria? Maybe in starlight I'll understand it deeper. Ameria, you bunkhead. Hey, Ameria, something happen? Marla, yes. Sorry, Whaley's voice just bounces off my ear sometimes. Marla saved my life. Convinced me to come get you. Yeah, see that smoke on the horizon? That's from the town. Yeah, that's Shirasham. It burned? Garoo! Things are different than they were. Yeah, well, I don't know if you've ever seen something quite like this. A monster? Sure we have. We slay monsters. Okay, well, I do magic. So we have to go in this tower and clear out all these monsters. Eventually you will get more heroes than you can bring into a fight all at once, and you end up splitting your party and having to choose things that way. I'm not the one with the plans. A perfect understanding isn't likely to emerge. What these beasts are, where they came from, what drove them to attack the town of Shirasham. But letting them nest here feels like the wrong idea. Just do what comes natural? Sure, well... so we can take a courageous approach or a methodical approach. I'm going to go for courage. Back at my house, it was pretty simple. Kill the beast before it kills you. And so by taking courage, we've given all heroes +2 damage for 3 turns. Potency is the magic version of damage. So like defense, or like armor and warding, it is split. We have a raccoon and a roe. The raccoon scrambling through shadows, its barbed appendages eagerly twitch. This is our action economy. It's kind of, I think you have like 2 action points and a free action, or like a basic action. It's kind of like 5th edition D&D if you're familiar, where you can do a couple things per turn. The game is pretty good about communicating what will actually cause your turn to end. Bring Marla up here and have her open the door. She has this guardian ability, so we can actually have her just sit here, and if an enemy comes into range, she will do an attack, which is good. It's kind of like Overwatch, if you've played XCOM. It's that kind of thing, but for melee. Have Ameria come up here and interfuse with one of these objects. This gives us a shackle, which will allow us to pin an enemy in place. And this gives us fire that we can throw around. I think I'm going to take the fire because it does more damage. And these enemies are lined up such that I can basically jump this fire out of the brazier and hit both of them. Interestingly, that it literally does like remove the fire from this lamp. And then Whaley can just come up here and get a shot off on... You can actually shoot through there. It's a very generous angle. One of the other mechanics is that if you hit an enemy, you can hit it from... If you hit it from at least like 90 degrees on a separate angle, you are guaranteed to hit. So because I took this fire and threw it this way, it counts as a hit from the right side on this. So now I'm guaranteed to hit coming from this angle, and it indicates that with the little lightning bolt arrow. So let's kill this raccoon. And Marla got her attack off. And it's just that easy. It gets much harder, but we're still kind of in tutorial mode. Speed is just how far you can move, and we will give it to... If we give it to Whaley, that gives her an actual, like, basically only whole numbers count. So giving it to Whaley gives her an extra square of movement, whereas giving it to Marla wouldn't, so we'll just give it to Whaley. Yeah, knee pads of speed. You'd think that wearing knee pads would actually make you slower, but somehow these don't. The last misshapen creature folds its bones and dies. Blue fluids darken the dust. Calmly into death, there's dignity in that. You make it sadder when you say that. Hey, look at us. Look what we did. Yeah. Day drops, day rises. Dusk is sweet, the sunrise sweeter. It's not long before they've cleaned the old tower up a bit. I always liked its weird stairs and stones, and it did save me. I always knew this morning would rise when I'd gaze into the sky and see a destiny for myself, a destiny to inspire song. Let's not wait to be overrun. We're a company of heroes now. We'll walk the land, we'll fight. People need us. We'll give ourselves a name, and make sure it's one they'll sing. Sounds like you've thought about this. And now we get to name our group. So everybody has a suggestion. We have the Moth Pirates, the Dreamers of Fortitude, the Crows of Fortitude, or we can enter our own name. What do we want to be? I'm just going to go with the Dreamers of Fortitude. I'm not creative enough to think of a fun name. It doesn't matter too much other than that characters will be saying it all the time, so. After that, the three of them are inseparable. Rumors are rampant, heroes are needed. This world will be flooded in sorrows, but its defenders are joined by a fire that night. Here follow the tales of the Dreamers of Fortitude. Be remembered. Calamities. So every time that as we progress the game, the enemy faction will gain access to new types of units. And sometimes we can do stuff about that to prevent it from happening, and sometimes we can't. So in this case now, this Gorgon, Gorgon is the faction of these nasty animals. Rager 1 is the enemy type, so this is a Rager, and this is level 1 of it. And now that'll start showing up. And you can see these are our 5 different enemy factions that could be present in the game. Because this is this particular campaign, we're really only going to see the Gorgons. But the other campaigns each focus on a different one of these. And they have their own units and gimmicks and stories and such. Tutorial complete. So you can recruit people and build stuff, and one of the things that you do every time that you take a location is you can secure it, which will basically keep enemies from spawning there, I believe. And when you go to secure a place, you can choose to either take longer, which will give you an item, or go faster, which won't. And unless I have something like about to blow up that'll kill everybody, I pretty much will always go for taking longer to get an item. Some interesting things here is like, because this is a tower, our mystic is better at securing it. But like for other types of locations, different classes will be better. Secure site completed. A thorough delving through the mysteries of Londia Post has proven rewarding. This makes us makes it give us resources which we can use to produce equipment eventually. So we got some hides and ingots and spell threads. And these pauldrons give bonus damage. So I would like to give it to Marla, because Marla is most likely to be doing a lot of damage. Either Marla or Whaley would be good. Ameria is mostly doing magic damage, so it won't actually help her that much, unless we were building her for melee, which we aren't. I'm going to give it to Marla. And if we go back to our town, we have a recruit opportunity, so we can get somebody new in the party. Do I want to build all girls? I mean, I'm tempted to. Yeah, let's get Wardra. This will cost legacy points, which we have. It'll cost 3, we have 5 of. Legacy points are kind of a general currency you use for a variety of things, like recruiting people. You can use it to make up for resources that you don't have when you're trying to craft something. So they're just kind of like useful for a variety of things. It didn't take long to trek back to Shirosham, and the town still seemed like the best bet for finding another able pair of hands. Wait. It's you, from the Heroes? Right. Anyway, I was hoping you'd come back. I get that a lot. Everything all right? Oh, everything's fine, and that's just it. It's been quiet in Shirosham so far, but I heard those things you said. That talk of not taking any more hog crap from the Gorgons. And it stuck with me, more than I would have thought. Is that how we put it? Possibly. Forming a company of heroes can get one a little fired up. You were right, though. There comes a time when caution and diplomacy just don't cut it anymore. And then where will you be? Fending off death with a pair of tweezers and a few choice words? Well, we could use another fighter on our side, if you're up for it. Oh, fantastic! I'm glad you offered. Otherwise I'd have to convince you, and that's not something anybody wants. Far be it from us to turn you down, then. And we can pick how we want her to... how we want to train her. I think having another warrior is usually what I like to do for, once I have more than one of each. Just because it's nice to be able to have multiple people on the front lines. I've never been sure, because she has a different expression on each of these. And I'm never sure if, like, that is meant to indicate what she wants to do. Like, if she wants to be a mystic. Or if warriors are just naturally angry. I don't know. But we're going to make her a warrior. And she gets a little training montage. So what are our options? More reaction strikes per turn is always nice. So like how we, set Marla into Overwatch, you can only do that once, but with this, she can do it twice. Stalwart mode basically lets us bulk up on armor but reduce speed, which can be really useful for if we just want to kind of park somewhere and tank. And Paladin lets us go into Overwatch mode for free if we just move up somewhere, which is also nice. So these are all pretty good. I'm going to go for Paladin. So basically, if we run up somewhere, we will automatically go into defense mode. But now we're just kind of, we need to go clear all of these out. So each of these is an area that could have enemies in it, and we just need to scout them out and find them and kill them. This is a place that we know of that is going to have combat, but I think any of these could have stuff going on. So I'm just going to have us start and work our way down. Yeah, so this kind of bramble texture means that this tile is infested by enemies, so probably somewhere in here there is an enemy encampment. If we let this go unchecked for too long, it eventually will spawn a group of enemies that will come and like start attacking towns, which is scary. But it'll happen eventually. So we have this tannery. We can just go in and attack it. Before we do any of these, we always get some kind of little narrative event, which might or might not affect what actually happens in combat. Some kind of basement over here. Moonless nights are monster nights. Whaley? They've been late all day. Late rising, late on the trail, late to recognize sunset, and late spotting this ruin. It's the remains of a smallish structure, lying toppled by a dried-up stream. Marla? I wonder who lived here. Who fell in love here? This place was something once. You're so hopeless sometimes. We're the first down here in some time. Someone worked at this table. Knife lines, stains of sediment, ash on the floor. It's chalk. What are these hash marks? And what's in the box? What's in the box? Remember, there's that verse in Opal Night, when Spira comes to the Umber Lady's Hall. Past the open portal, shadows packed like ravens plumed, dimming all discovery, sharply dark and darkness doomed. Spira's sparklight shimmered spent, snuff dispelled, left all engloomed. This place isn't like that, I guess, but nowhere is poem perfect. The Umber Lady's Hall. The Umber Lady. Yeah, those are my favorite parts. I think these two characters are both tagged as being poetic, which is why, like, a lot of these events will branch a bit on their personality traits. The box is puzzle locked. One of those magic puzzle locks. Oh, is it words or numbers? Words. Thank all the gods. Remind me how these function? We guess until we're frustrated, then we bash it to pieces. Lock words, they called them. The words or phrases that spring the box open. The magic lock presents a prompt with a clear slate to write an answer. The wise wanderer finds home where... blankety blank. Probably someone's head in there. Ugh. Well, air's turning out better than I thought. Could cook dinner and make a night of it. Chalk some guesses? I'm sorry, it's interesting. I'll grab the things. I'm fine with it. I'll refill the waters and come back. They haul their gear down the slippery stairs. Ameria senses the smoky air thickening, so unclogs the old chimney pipe. By the end, she can see stars through it. Marla discovers an old book of Thnaric prophecy. It's something to stare at. Whaley toils over an all-right stew, not sparing the seasoning much thought. They shout and scribble guesses in the meantime. Who comes up with the correct lock words? The wise wanderer finds home where, and we get to choose who is right. So where love at last would land her, where no one else yet has, where only the dead may go. Interesting. Do we want to be romantic or adventuresome or kind of somber? Yeah, this have you played this, Monty? I'm guessing. I think the way that this game does like these narratives is the thing I love most about it. I actually saw they're doing a new DLC for this game, but it is entirely like combat trials, and it kind of disappointed me because like the combat is good, but this kind of narrative stuff and the overarching plot lines that you build are what really make it for me. So I'm not really interested in like just doing a bunch of combat trials. A long time ago. Yeah, I think I played this when it came out first, and I have come back to it a few times. Like they released a new campaign, I think a year or so ago, and I played through some of that. But I love this game. This is one of my favorite games. Let's go romantic. Where love at last would land her. Click. Here you all are. Searched up and down. My scouting trip got cut short. Gorgons are closing in. Come on. At least she found us. Whoops. Well, what's in there, though? Materials, looks like. Good ones. It's a gift from an unknown soul. Yeah, I suppose. Some ingots. So we have a rager, a raccoon, and a roe. I take my warriors. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna have you park there. You can park here. And they'll just both be in Guardian mode. What can we interfuse with? I don't have sight on... don't have sight on anything in there. Interesting. And you can you do your through shot? You can. This this rager has armor, so I'm only doing 1 damage to it. But she can shoot through both of these. And she got her stunt, so we critted on them. Nice. Yeah, the raccoon is a ranged enemy, which is annoying. Can you through shot again? You can. Nice. One of the things it showed that triggered there was called Lover's Vengeance. So because that enemy attacked Marla, who is who is Whaley's girlfriend, Whaley gets bonus damage against that. So basically, any enemy that attacks her girlfriend, she gets bonus damage against, and vice versa. The other relationship types have other mechanics like that. Like I think if somebody does a critical, it gives their rival a better chance for doing criticals because they don't want to be shown up. I forget what the basic friendship one does, but it is something similar where it gives them a little bonus. So you're gonna go up here. Nice. This is a wand. We can give it to Ameria. And it'll... What will it do for us? It will give her better warding and better spell damage, so I think that is worthwhile. Yeah. But because we did that, now this enemy type has more health forever, basically for the rest of the campaign. So every time you do something, everything else will get harder, essentially. What did we get? We got some hides. We got bonus damage, Belt of Power. I think I'm going to give this also to our other warrior, Wardra. And then we can just keep going. Painted amber by the fading light, the profile of rocky hills catches Marla's eye. You think there's something up there? Shouldn't we check? Upon the hill's summit, nothing's waiting for them. It's a decent view at least. Look, you can see the salt road. Then it begins, a thrumming. It grows louder, rumble trumble. And louder, until the stone underfoot clatters and shakes. Scrumble. It grows louder, scrowl. Until it's a mighty growl, clamorous thundering. And then it resolves. A voice. I am the one. The voice of a carnivore, cunning and crooning, warning them to run, promising to give chase. The one you have hunted so long, through darks and whims. You have hunted so long for me, and for a sisterhood that should be yours. Do you know my name? A name. It was the gift I gave to your ancestors. They walked my myth over green field and fallow. To the curves and corners of being they walked. Do you know my name? How? How would I? A blessing earned through ancient service, an oath written in steps and trails, and sealed with a name. You only need to know it. I'll ask you once more. Do you know my name? Lokias. It's like reading a fairy tale from your childhood, only to realize how disturbing it is. Marla doesn't like knowing the name, but she's sure it's right. Yes, I am Lokias, your wolf god. And now, you may take my oath, abandon your humanity, my girl, and be blessed as wolfkind. So this is the other very fun thing about this game, is there are a lot of transformations that your characters can undergo, um, which will give them different abilities and attacks and stats and such. Um, so this is literally going to start turning Marla into a wolf. I will very. It's very rare that I say no to any of these, just because I think it's very interesting. Like, you can opt to be like, no, I don't want to be a wolf, but I don't know. It's more interesting if people start turning into weird things. Not all of them are. There are a few of them that are like animal based. Some of them are like elemental. Like I had somebody turn into a big crystal person once. But yeah, let's make Marla a wolf. It feels like coming home. Marla kneels, and beneath her a green light pools. Dandelions rise out of the sparse wind-scraped dirt. They grow old and white, throw their seeds, then wilt to nothing. The god rock she kneels upon hums. It cracks somewhere inside. A geode of understanding splits and catches light. Beneath the earth and behind her eyes. Marla. Yeesh. And now she's got a big wolf head. Which is a little goofy looking. I don't know. It's weird looking when they're like partially transformed, because this happens basically like limb by limb through their body. So she has a wolf head, but like the rest of her body is human currently. This has increased her retirement age, which is a thing that we will have to worry about eventually, is characters will just get old and then eventually retire. So I guess by being a wolf, she will be active longer. It'll also give her some other stuff. Can we actually check? Yeah, it's given her a wolf bite ability. So she can chomp. What kind of outpost do we want to... Oh, did it say it scales with potency? That's interesting. Yeah, potency is not just magic, I guess. It's like also things to do with abilities. So some stuff will scale for it for all characters. What do we want? I don't actually know which of these we need most, so I'm going to go fabrics, just because we just got some hides. So eventually we need to go here, so I want to do this one last. So let's go up here first. And because enough time has passed, all of the enemy factions get stronger. And we can spend our legacy points to cancel some of these, but not all of them, because we literally don't have enough points. These are some of the different enemy types that we will be fighting. The Morthagi are like steampunk zombies, kind of. The Deepest are kind of weird, mushroomy people that live beneath the earth. The Gorgons are who we are actively fighting the most, so it'll be most advantageous for us to not let them get too far, because we're going to be fighting them more than anybody else. And this is also another Deepest unit. So I'm going to cancel this one just so we can delay this guy getting added to their deck, and I'll just leave the other things to happen. We might end up fighting these people randomly, but the Gorgons are going to be the bulk of the stuff that we encounter. But yeah, one of my in the save file that I had previously for this game, one of my best legacy characters was a mystic who had she had a full wolf body, but she also had these big raven wings, and she was just this very cool OC that just had these very powerful magical abilities, and I don't know, it's neat. I think once they start getting different stuff, they become more memorable, because you'll be like, oh, that's the guy with a flaming hand, or that's the person that has a big rock for a head. All the sweltering stars. When the moon's gone, all the stars seem happier. Reminds me of a tavern hall before your face darkens the window, dear. Don't be mean about her face. She just got a wolf face. You can't be... Whaley, shh, she doesn't know. Anyway, it's a good omen, the brightening stars. What do you need omens for, love? You know, long ago an augur read the leaf patterns for me. Told me I'd fall for an endlessly questing woman. I believe omens now, much more than I used to. I don't need one, but I watch for them all the same. Only omen I'm listening to is my growling gut. So we have a percentage chance of success on each of these. Sometimes things will go bad if you fail these. I think this one is relatively safe no matter which I pick. I could be wrong. Sometimes you'll have an option to try and do something that is obviously risky and will have terrible consequences if you fail. We just gave Marla a wolf head, so I think let's give Wardra something, because Wardra hasn't gotten to do much yet. She has a 47% chance to, I guess, succeed at recognizing this as an omen. Maybe I do wonder. Does she see something I don't? I get wanting omens to be true. I get why people convince themselves that there's a big pair of hands that cradles them, carries them, and will catch them when they fall. But where could that intention live, you know? I don't know. It has to be gods and things? Or a what? I just don't think I'll ever see it. Maybe that's the difference. Oh well. What's that line between the book witch and... Treasure these questions, clove the witch, grinning wide. They'll distract you from aging, they'll lengthen your stride. Yeah, that's the one. I think we succeeded on that, and that is what is given this bonus. So all heroes stunt chance doubled for this fight, which is cool. And now we have a little guy we can go chase, which we do want to go grab that little guy. It is very useful to find them. Marla now has her bite attack. Oh, I see. Yeah, it takes half of her bonus damage and half of her potency, so it is pulling from both sources equally. The stunt for more damage, and because we have our Battle Dance perk, she can actually attack twice. Bring Wardra up here. I want to get these characters some better weapons, because right now she's using a frying pan, which is not actually a weapon. I mean, it is for the context of the game, but like, it's not a. She needs a better thing to use. Let's throw a rock at you. It is great, like, and I mean, if you have a solid cast iron pan, like, it'll definitely hurt. But she does deserve better. So, yeah, because Ameria, who is Whaley's rival, because Ameria just got a critical, it has given Whaley a bonus to stunt chance, to critical chance. She doesn't want to be outdone. Let's open the door. Interesting. So I want to catch this little guy who's very cute. This is a leaf spirit. I do want to catch him. Who I catch him with does matter, because it will basically, we will get a weapon from this thing. I think, why not? Let's just let Whaley. Whaley can go get a weapon from this, because she has the range to grab it right now. It's all right, little one. Can I tell Marla about you? Bree Bree. So we can choose to enchant one of our weapons, or just get a legacy point. I'm going to take the enchanted bow. Which has more damage and has this leaf element. What this means is that whenever we get a stunt, we get 2 temporary hit points. Probably would have been better on one of the melee characters, actually. But everybody will get something eventually, so it is okay. Whaley is just dodging wonderfully, which is great. So you all can get up here but not attack. Is there anything you can fuse with that would help? Probably taking the fire is the... Fire is really good for damage. This discus, which rock things have, is nice because it can bounce between enemies. I'm gonna take the fire. And we'll go for the kill. Oh no. Yeah, I don't think you quite have range. So just get up in there. A area can only be interfused with 2 objects at once right now. So if I want to grab something else in here, I have to spend an action, a swift action, to release one of these. I could throw my fire. I don't think I can... I don't have the range for it, for one. But even if I did, I would have to go through my people, which I don't really want to. So I'm actually just going to withdraw from that, too. And you can... just shoot this. Oh shit. Whaley has been knocked out. Well, at least we get to see what happens when you die. Which is that you don't actually die. The first time a character takes lethal damage, you have some options as to how it can play out. So I could have her literally die and deal damage to this thing, like going down fighting. I could have her die and protect everybody. Or I could just have her leave, like she just ducks out of the fight because she's wounded. That'll make her lose health for the remainder of the game. But that is better than her dying right now. Another day, perhaps. I can be patient. Not broken, but perhaps a bit bent. Whaley slips away. Yeah, that went bad. Yeah, well. Yeah, it is. It's really cool, and I don't know how many people are involved in making these, but it is neat that they give the author's name. It also, like, the game has this very, like I said, kind of webcomic-y aesthetic, and I feel like that also contributes to it. But oh. Do people do that in... I mean, it's neat that people do that in Quake and Doom stuff. It makes sense. I'm glad. I have no familiarity, but it is cool. We'll give Marla some warding. You've been through hell, my dear. And the thought of you trekking back in the state hardly seems fair. So I have a surprise for you. Come on. Gorwyn. Good, you're still here. Hello. Whaley, this is Gorwyn. She's headed back out of here, and I've arranged a slight detour for her to give you a lift back to town. Arranged? You actually approached someone and talked to them? Only for you, Whaley. What? Just feels weird, getting special treatment. You are special. You were in Death's front yard not too long ago. It's time to enjoy some good fortune where you can find it. Take care. Take as long as you need. This'll be nice, maybe. The treetops passing by. The bumping. That ox smell. Yeah, so she got maimed. Heroes can be maimed once per chapter. And if they take lethal damage a second time, they will die for sure. So she just has to recover while we do this other stuff. Sometimes that can cause them to, like, lose a limb or something like that. It looks like it was not that bad for her this time. She just her health is lower. Ring of Divinity gives some warding. Who could use warding? I guess we can put it on Whaley just so that she hopefully doesn't die again. And then we will send everybody up here. So even though she had to go back to town, like, she can join up separately. Sometimes that becomes dangerous because characters will have to travel through infested places, and they can get ambushed while traveling. I'm just saying, when the job needs doing, and needs doing quickly, some of us move in for the kill, and others stand in the corner and commune with the furniture. Whaley, you cannot be talking shit when you just got beat up. I'm not saying which way is better. I'm just saying. Hey, that furniture has some pent-up rage like you wouldn't believe. Yeah. Everything all right? Or, I thought I saw a snake. It was just a vine, I guess. They say snakes are simply vines with ambition. Yeah. Yeah. Marla, what do we do? Whatever you do, do it quick. We can try to interfuse with the vines. We can chop it up or just try to pull her out. We have a 91% chance, and Marla is Whaley's girlfriend, so I feel like she gets to take the lead on this. Maybe feisty, but it's still made of vine stuff. Okay, but watch it, right? Watch it all right. It's literally winding around her. Hack/thwomp. Pulled worse than that out of the carrot patch. You okay? I think so. You're gonna have to walk me through some of the moves you used back there. The precision was spectacular. Let's hope the Gorgons are as easily felled. This is giving us courage. So we're going to keep Whaley back, which I honestly should have done before. There's really no reason for me to have run her up there, but I just wanted to grab the little guy, and so I guess that's my lesson, is I shouldn't be chasing after little guys and getting killed. I have a shot from back here. Nice. Bring Marla up, put her into Guardian. What can you fuse with? Nice. Bring you up. They're all going to be in here, I'm guessing. you go up and kill that. No, I really don't know where they are. Oh, just hiding over there. With fabric stuff, we can constrict, which kills it. Normally it prevents it from moving, I think, or makes it slower. Marla has leveled up. What are our options? We have Bard, which reduces the cost of recruiting new heroes and increases stunt chance for everybody. She has Thundering Challenge, which once per combat as a swift action, Marla frightens the enemy, forcing them to spend their next turn running away. Shield Shear, once every other turn, as a swift action, Marla shreds 2 of a foe's armor with her weapon. Shredding basically means that we permanently remove that armor, so it no longer applies damage reduction. And Howl, once per combat as a swift action, grant +2 speed to all heroes for 3 turns. This is because she has Wolf Head. Yeah, Bard, I think it's a generic one. I believe it is. I think because these are color-coded, so these brown ones are the warrior color. Bard is a generic one that anybody can get. And Howl is because she has the wolf head. I'm going to take Shield Shear just because if we can rip some armor off of enemies later in the game, that'll be useful. Who do we want to give potency to? Normally I'd give it to the Mystic, but if I do, it won't actually bump her up by a whole thing, although it'll get her further there so that if we get something else, that'll help her in the future. It can do stuff for these other characters, but all spell damage, I think, goes through potency. So we'll just give it to Emeria. It won't do anything right now. But maybe the next piece of gear we get will be like a 0.5 or whatever that'll push her over. We have this nasty guy now. Oh, we got some warrior armor. Who do we want to give more armor to? Let's give it to Wardra. Just because I think Marla already has some more stuff. And a Brooch of Chivalry, which gives some armor. Yeah, we can give that to Marla. Cool. one of the things that is happening is this tile that we previously cleared has these brambles on it, which means that basically the enemy infestation from over here is spreading back over here. And if we leave this long enough, more enemies will pop up here. But we're going to get to it soon. Almost to Danton Dam, aren't we? How would I know? Well, there's a decently high hill. Good vantage point. Let's climb it. Oof. That was steeper than it needed to be. Quite a view, though, I'll say that. Atop the highest hill. Something's here. Wardra, this isn't safe. A big old thing. With a bigger, older mama? So we have this big egg, and we can try to take it, which we have a 40% chance of succeeding at. Or we can leave the egg alone. 40% is a pretty bad success rate. But I do kind of want it. I also feel like you should just leave. Obviously, if you find eggs, you leave them alone. But it is more interesting if she tries to take it. It'll be funny. Yeah, okay. Wardra, try to take the egg. Hopefully this does not go terribly. Wardra. Doing it for the bit, yeah. It'll be fine, it'll just be 2 seconds. Now how should I guess this old flour sack. Wardra is here, it's about to be... Caca! Hurry up! Faster. In the bag, little buddy. Duck. Whoosh. They managed to scramble down safely the rest of the way. You cooking something? What do you think? The egg? You didn't. Oof, you really are gullible. No, just keeping her warm, my little crag eagle. So I think we succeeded on that. Because I've seen that event before, and I think one of the ways that goes bad is you basically, like, fumble the egg and it breaks and then get attacked by the eagle. And we're fighting some Deepists, which are a different enemy faction that we've been than the Gorgons we've been fighting up until now. I think one of the interesting things about this game is that there is mostly not, like, you're mostly not fighting other humans. I think there are, like, a few rare events where you end up fighting some people, like some humans. But it is mostly you're fighting some of these various other factions in the world. Let's take Wardra, just move her up here. And Amaria, get into position. You can blow this card up on this person. And Marla, you can come up and just defend. One of the things that we unlocked with our upgrade on Emeria is this Splinter Salvo. It is a little tricky to use this because basically what you have to have is two wooden objects that you are linked to, and you create like a burst of damage in between them. And it's very powerful when you can do it, but it is like very situational. But we can just use the regular one, and it is also pretty strong. I also haven't been using this on Whaley. She has this silk staff. Bone Lance. Hunter armor. I think this is also... This might be part of the DLC I bought, because I think a lot of these armors are new. So we'll replace that. And... offhand artifact. We'll just give it to Emeria. What did we get? Increased accuracy. I'm going to put that on our ranged character. I think it'll help for any of them, but it just feels like if you're going to do accuracy, you should put it on your ranger. So we can afford to cancel more of these. I'm going to definitely cancel this terrible bear. And this one. I'm fine with these because we're not going to fight these quite as often. And this is the final fight of the chapter. So after we do this, everything will the world state will advance. None of us knew what had changed the beasts who roamed our wilds. We knew something lived inside them. Blue burning hate that frenzied them, then left them still. A stone sentence, worse and more deadly than any venom. Today we would finally find out where it came from and why it wouldn't stop. Well, Spring Pine Brewery looks mostly intact. Maybe the rumors aren't true? Well, all the better then. I get a bad feeling, though. Personally, I'm hoping for a few of them gangrel deer things. I just find them endearing. Oof, not now. Their approach to the town of Spring Pine Brewery is completely silent. Kind of have to explore, and eventually we will probably run into something terrible. Or maybe not, maybe everything is fine. Definitely looks like everything is fine in this village. They're all stuck, aren't they? Unforgivable. And how many more are there? There's tracks. They go up to that barn door. Too many buildings around. No idea what could be waiting for us. And whatever did this could still be inside. Garoo. Oh no, it's full of monsters. Can't quite reach with you. What about... I don't have anything nearby for her. You just go up here and block that off. I can probably hit this raccoon by blowing this up. Yeah. Or I can just whiff. Either way. Nice. Something is in these houses trying to bust these doors down. Oh shit. Okay. Stuff has partial cover. Let's see, can I... Yeah, if I go up here, I can interfuse with some of these nasty stone tentacles and attack from inside. This thing has a nasty tongue attack that just spread a bunch of goop everywhere and yoinked Marla over to it. Oh. What'll happen? Oh, okay. So basically, if I blow this thing up, it's going to put a bunch of goop everywhere, and I'm going to get hurt in the goop. That's fine. Yeah. That's okay. You go beat up this raccoon. Just wait. I want you to go stealthy. Yeah, I think it'll let the bigger enemies go through the doors even if they're smaller. I don't actually remember. It would be very funny if it was just stuck in there. But yeah, that particular one can just yoink your people. So why don't you go up here? I can't reach, but I can just go into guard mode. And I think with you, I can interfuse with that, and then yeah, there we go. Okay, so we defeated all of those. Now we just need to go check out the barn, which I'm sure is going to be very normal, and nothing will go wrong. Get everybody grouped up. I think I can take as much time as I want before opening this door, so I'm just going to try and, for no reason at all, just going to try and get everybody kind of positioned nicely. Marla, why don't you pop this door open? A Gorgon. Shimmering fluidly, its silent, slithering approach fascinates the mind as it haunts the heart. Like I said, nothing terrible in this barn. Just go into guard mode. Can I hit them? If I go... I don't want to move her up too far because she will get killed. Use this to shred its armor. And then... go for the kill. Nice. Oh, I didn't even have to kill the other thing. Cool. I'm gonna give this to Wardra for now. If she gets a two-handed weapon, she won't be able to use this, but for now she can. So what are our options? Engage as a swift action. Wardra engages a foe, forcing it to attack her. So this just lets me force an enemy to attack her. Long reach, +1 range with all attacks and abilities. This is incredibly useful because it applies to her melee attack as well. So one of the things that I've done in a lot of the games of this I've played is put that on a character that is using a spear, and that stacks. So if I give her this ability and give her a spear, she will have like 3 squares of reach. It's ridiculously good. This is a shield cheer that we have, and then we can upgrade her paladin to make her go into guardian mode every turn, even if she attacks. So basically all of the time she will be in guard mode. I can't pass up the reach. It's just super useful. +2 armor, +1 warding, which would be nice because she is now fragile. Throw a flash cone that blinds enemies and deals magic damage. If thrown at an ally, they will be hidden. It's Bard, which reduces the cost of recruit jobs. And I can upgrade her her through shot to go through any number of enemies in a line. It just does 1 less damage for each consecutive enemy. I think I'm going to take the... I'm just going to give her more defense. Because she lost some health, so that's making up for it, kinda. My pants are dry? My pants are still dry! We're pleased to hear that. Nothing is beyond us. I think we've proven that. The hulking carcass steams from its many wounds. Hideous convulsions course along its appendages to the extremities of its body. Then... swipe? No. The thing's tremendous tail flicks across the barn. It plucks up Wardra like she's a straw doll, her weapons falling uselessly from her hands as it pulls her in. Wardra, don't panic. A voice leaks from Wardra's mouth. It's a wrong voice, weird and discordant, like someone fretting and plucking a fiddle who's never picked one up. Still yourselves, bone stacks. This one speaks my words. I can make it die. You are not alike to us. Weak lungs and small minds, stacks of splintering bones, thin blood that will so readily betray you. Why flail for your lives? So noisy. You can survive this. Just put her down. You think I flail for life as you do? I am Gorgon. The Master Ulstryx has promised us silence. The voice dissolves into a sound like rain or distant waves. Wiggling grips tighten. A tentacle invades Wardra's ear. Is it safe for Twitch? Am I allowed to show this? Stop! Marla leaps forward, lifting a nearby pitchfork and hurling it with thunderous force. Stop, I said. The tines of the fork sink into the beast's neck. Wardra falls free of its tendrils. As Amiri and Whaley rush over to make certain of the Gorgon's demise, Marla supports Wardra, helping her to stand. You're okay. A strange, stony affliction spreads from Wardra's ear. Wardra? This isn't over. I saw its mind. The stone was in its claws. Wardra takes the stone from Amaria's palm, turning it in front of her eyes, catching slender sunbeams that slice the barn wall. The strange polyhedral stone is slick with Gorgon blood. Epichrist. Each face is graven with an intricate image. The word in the Gorgon's head was Epichrist. This town, Springpine Brewery, these petrified people, even this monster, none of it matters. The Epichrist glistens, sticky and blue. The Gorgons have a master, Ulstryx it's called. It's looking for something, some myth or secret. I think the riddle is in this stone. I think we have to find out what Ulstryx wants and make sure he doesn't get it. So Wardra has gotten minus 25 charisma and plus 35 loner, which is affecting her personality. Basically, all of the different personality traits have a score, and their I think their top two are what come through in their personality. So somebody could swap from being a an outgoing person to a loner if some kind of event, like being attacked by a tentacle monster affected them. Marley got plus retirement age. I don't know why she got plus retirement age, but I guess throwing a pitchfork through a Gorgon has made her feel better about herself, such that she doesn't want to retire until later. 10 years of peace follow. So one of the great things about the game is the time scale that we operate on here is like decades. Like years and years will pass between every chapter of the story, and I think the amount of years actually depends on how well you do in kind of cleaning things up, because basically by killing more of the enemies and making it safer for people, you are guaranteeing that everybody has more time in peace. That also means that your characters get that much older. So eventually, like, these characters will grow old and retire or die. And this is usually when that will happen, is after each of these, when we, advance the story by 10 years or however many years. We get to remove some of these because we have thwarted the enemy's plans. And during the years of peace, the Gorgon's mark grew and crusted over to cover one side of Wardra's face. It would be a grim reminder of the encounter that day in the Springpine Brewery barn. Wardra's little crag eagle hatched safely and grew large. It tended to bring her gifts from near and far. Eventually she released it to the wild. It soared free among the rocks, hills, and peaks, plus one of every resource. Interestingly, that can go different ways, even when you succeed. Like, I have had different creatures hatch out of that egg in prior games. On her more civilized days, Marla would drop into town for gossip and tool repairs. But on the whole, she felt clearer-headed only among wilder kin. Ameria found a soulmate in a man with deep, blooming eyes. He would whisper their love to the raindrops and shout it to the valleys. Aw. We get to choose whether or not to advance Marla's transformation. So we can give her wolf arm. This does mean that she can't hold a two-handed weapon, which is a bit of a problem with how she's currently kitted out with a spear. So we will probably make her a... well, we'll have to swap her to a weapon, because I'm not going to... You can choose not to advance the transformation, but, like, I'm not going to half-ass turning into a wolf. And we get to do gear upgrades. So I want to make sure everybody has armor. Oh yeah, so all of these options are part of the DLC. I think normally there are like two of these existed before, so it's cool that there are some more options. This gives her invisibility when she is reduced to less than half her health, which is cool. This is more like armor. Some stunt chance and spell damage. When she falls below half health, she gains +1 potency. I think this is just normal stuff. Interesting. I want to make sure she has... It would be nice if she had either armor or warding, at least. I think this is the best for her, because it gives her a decent amount of both of those. These have different costs from our resources that we've gotten. I think I'm going to give her the level 1 drab armor, which will give her just some armor and warding. And she already has a good wand that we found. So let's do that. Marla needs some stuff. Actually, first let's get Marla a weapon. So we can go spear. One-handed spear. Eventually she will probably also have wolf right arm. And then she will basically be relying on claw attacks. And we want more armor. Let's just go with the heavy armor. Wardra and Whaley already have some. I'm going to give Wardra a weapon, though. I could go... I'll go mace for her. Or actually, she's got the range, so I think swapping her to spear as well might be worthwhile. And then everybody will just... Both my warriors will be using spears, but spears are good weapons. I'm going to go Axe. That'll give her some passive armor shredding. Yeah. Whaley fell into the work of deciphering the Epicryst. If this is true. It hasn't always gone smoothly, and progress has mostly dripped along. The meanings of the weird stone have remained inscrutable for years. But today, something in her research slides into place. It's always about heroes, isn't it? And she can now guess where their enemies might be. It explains why we've had a few years of relative peace. Do you see what I mean? Here, imagine you're trying to raise an army. What's the first thing you do? Raise an army? Right, an army, out of just normal folks. Suppose I'd give them a reason, something to get their blood going. Wouldn't be too hard. A symbol. You'd want a symbol to rally support, wouldn't you? Especially if your people are ancients and set in their ways. So you're saying our Ulstryx, our master of Gorgons, needs this thing. What is it, some kind of divine spear? As a symbol to help convince other Gorgons to follow it. Yes, that's what I believe. And why does it need to do that? Why does it need the spear? Or why does it need the support of others like it? What is Ulstryx? Perhaps there's something, an old evil, that the Gorgon is fighting? But I'm worried it's just us. I was able to find other records of Epicrysts, rubbings. That was my first clue. An Epicryst is like an ancient storytelling device, a way for telling a time-honored myth, but maybe in a different order or fashion. That's what I think. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting swept up. I checked the story elements here against some of our older legends. You know that tall tale, kind of a poem or a song in some places, Queen of the Seas? I know it well, actually. Our stone tells almost the same story, almost. According to our version, the spear was laid to rest in a named cavern. It's on one of our maps. So that gives us an advantage, right? We know where it is. But they've got a pretty big head start, so I don't know if it has anything to do with this, but Gorgon sightings are picking up again. Now seems like a good time for us to get started. We've all changed, remember? All the havoc those things caused, and we couldn't stop them. But we're ready this time, aren't we? Vengeance roars in my blood. I plan on feeding it. The shadows deepen. All monster groups will draw an extra monster card in every battle. And that brings us to Chapter 2, which expands our map, and we have new things to go look for and find. I'm actually going to take the time to, or I guess this is where I'm going to end the stream for today. It's a good stopping point, and we'll be able to pick this up next time. Our goal is to investigate this humble altar, and we have 350 days left. If we fail this, it's very bad. So now we have kind of a ticking clock on the things that we're doing. But yeah, I'm gonna save the game. And quit. And yeah, thank you all for watching and coming and hanging out while I was narrating through Wildermyth. It's one of my favorite games, and I'm excited to play it more. Yeah, it's really good. I wanted to start with this campaign, but it's actually my least favorite of the main campaigns because it's very basic and trying to introduce you into it. The later ones are very different, and I'm hopeful that we'll get to those sometime and be able to show that off. But yeah, thank you for coming and watching. Let me see if there's anybody on right now that I can raid. Let's see. Spagona is playing Sonic Battle, so let's Let's go raid Mike. Oh, I cannot go raid Mike. Interesting. Then let's go raid Dino. I think it's his birthday. But yeah, thank you for coming in and watching and hanging out. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye.